Back on the trailer, episode 3. The goal for this video is to get the shell lifted. To get the shell lifted, there's going to be a ton of work to do. Remove the entire aluminum skins. Before we can do that, we've got to take off the screen windows. Then, actually, it's too much to tell you, so just follow along, and hopefully this will end with the shell off the bottom if we don't run into anything crazy. One of the things I noticed in this trailer is it has these really weird style heads. They're like a clutch head or something. I forget. I'll have a link below to the drivers, but you can get drivers for these on Amazon, which is going to make this a lot easier. When I tore it out in the last video, I'm sure some of you noticed these big gashes I created, which wasn't smart, just ripping everything out of the sides. I should have found those first and removed those screws, but lesson learned, going to do it from now on. Almost there, ready to start pulling the skins off. I think I've got all the rivets drilled, at least all that I can find. Inevitably, when I start pulling these off, there's going to be something I missed, but that's just how it goes. Anyway, my drill bits actually held up really well. I didn't break any, which was nice, but if you've seen the diamond discs on my angle grinder I like to use, that company Milner Hoffman also makes drill bits, and that's what I've been using. They sent those out to me like last year or something. But one of the reasons I love them is they're easy to sharpen, and just like the discs, if you like wear it out so much you can't resharpen it or break it or friggin' anything, they'll send you a new one for free. And used to, I'd buy drill bits, in the packs of multiples because you always break them. So it's pretty awesome that they'll stand by their product like that. Shoot, not many consumables can you buy with a we'll replace it when it breaks, even though if you use it it's going to kind of warranty. Of course you pay for that, but it's awesome, I think. Now I spent a lot of time thinking about marking all these panels to make sure I get them back where they go. But after more time looking at it, I don't think that's necessary because the panels can only go in one place based off how all the openings are. And the sequence makes sense to me. I've looked at enough, and the way that this was constructed is these top end caps on both the back and the front are fiberglass instead of aluminum. They went in first, and then the pieces underneath of them. Then they started at the back, did the bottom forward, this mid row forward, and then the top forward. So I'm just going to remove in the opposite order, starting from the front top, work my way back, middle back, bottom back, and then whenever I put these back together, I'll just go the opposite way. Oh, of course, and then caps. Of course, all the nasty insulation's behind this, so while I'm pulling the sheet metal or the aluminum off, I'm gonna wear my RZ mask, but then once I get to the insulation, because RZ does a pretty good job, but it doesn't work as well as a real respirator and put my respirator on then, because it's crazy hot. But that's why I'm wearing my sleeves today, is all that insulation, and got up early, even though I'm not a morning person, to try to be out here early for me before it gets too crazy hot. But yeah, let's I don't want to do this. So my punch was too small and didn't seem to be helping a whole lot, so I ended up just pulling them anyways. That's why you saw me drilling a bunch, is because I, then came back, and after I pulled the first level, drilled just a little bit more to make it easier to pull off the second one. And the fiberglass, it had a bunch of rivets that had been covered by the aluminum, which kind of makes sense because it'd have to be riveted in place to hold it till they put the rest on over it, which is what these I'd call them nailers, I guess here we'd call them riveters. But yeah, that's what those are about. So hopefully I can get all the insulation out from under them without having to take those off, just leave those in place. Anyway, time to respirator up and do probably the worst part of this whole job. But man, keep thinking if I'd gone wrong in life, I could be inside in the air conditioning on my computer working on some documents that my boss needs by Monday. So I've got to work all weekend because he couldn't be bothered all week to forward it to me, even though he'd had it all week. This is a lot better than that. Okay, battery died during that time lapse, which I didn't realize until I finished getting everything down. And this is how the camper has stayed for 2 months. So this video, I think I'm going to wrap up with just cleaning the rest of the installation off, and that'll be it. And hopefully the next video or the one after will be lifting the shell, because I'm realizing there's a lot more work, and it'd be forever before I got another video out on this if I waited. Anyway, I found out that the water hose did an okay job of getting all the rest of the loose insulation, so still sent me out a pressure washer, and I'm going to use that to get the rest of it. I'm not exactly sure what this sprayed on black stuff is. It's everywhere except for the wet areas, the kitchen, and the bathroom. So if you got any ideas on that, let me know. And also, I know there's going to be a note about asbestos. I did my research in this type of fiberglass insulation when this was made. Very, very unlikely. This is not one of the known products to have asbestos in it. So we're in my respirator anyway, but I know that's going to come up. Anyway, time to get the pressure washer, and I'll probably end up spraying the outside some too, because, it's just fun watching the transformation of pressure washing. Something I learned about gas engine pressure washers is you have to make sure that you're taking the pressure off of the engine about every 60 seconds or so to make sure the engine doesn't overheat. Nice thing about this electric one is it just cycles the pump on and off whenever you're using it. Just when you squeeze the trigger, it takes about maybe a second to come back up to pressure. No big deal. And it's one less engine I have to worry about maintaining, which is great. And one last note with pressure washers, goggles are optimal, but mine have side relief, which I bought these because they're Z87 and prescription, because I wear prescription. But make sure you read the manual, evaluate risk on your own, and be smart. that's working really well, but I do need some input. So next steps are lifting the shell, but also replacing all the floor, which is why I don't mind all the water in here, because the floor is toast anyways and going to be replaced. But it seems weird to lift the shell, put a brand new floor in it and everything that's good to go, but then put a shell back on it that needs a lot of repair, and I don't know how long it's going to take me to get it watertight after I put the new floor in. But then it also doesn't seem right to fix the shell, but then lift it off, put it back on, potentially damaging it again. So maybe I'm missing something. If you have any input, please let me know. And also, if you enjoy this, I do watch Andy Rawls and Miller's Garage, and I've watched Driving and Vibin's restoration. So if you like this, be sure to check those out. Thank you for everyone who's given me those leads. I do watch them. They're great. Anyway, need to finish pressure washing this, but I think this is where we're going to leave this video. So I hope you learned something, were inspired, or at least entertained. Until next time, make time to make something.